Anthony Show continues.
Got Stacy Keach walking into the studio. Maybe. There he is. Stacy Keach, my God.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Stacy Keach.
That's Stacy Keach.
There he is.
Right.
I know.
Is that working?
I recognize him. Well, I'm trying to get on the network. Big pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Trying out these Google Glass things. And it's kind of a pain.
Are you a tech guy at all? Are you a technology guy?
Not really, no.
No?
I guess we all are to a certain degree. We have to use our smartphones and computers, but
Some people just outright reject it, though. It's always funny to talk
True,
to
my
someone.
wife is like that.
But she won't touch email or any of that stuff?
No. She's texting. She's very proud of that fact that she's a texter.
All right,
And I
that's
said,
a
"It's just-
start.
She's just she's a click away from being an emailer, but
Right.
she doesn't want to do it.
What do you think it is that people reject that stuff for? Is it just it seems like an overwhelming technology to learn?
I think so. With my wife, that's certainly the case. Yeah. But she is now, I think, so overwhelmed with. We have 2 kids, and they do everything.
Okay, Glass.
So
Anthony's looking at us with Google.
Take a picture.
what have you got there? What am I looking at?
Yeah.
there?
I'm taking a picture of you.
You have one of those.
Stacy Keach, I'm taking a picture of you with
Google Glass.
Google Glass.
Google Glass.
This would blow
Yes.
your wife's
That's
mind.
the first time I've seen.
Okay, Glass.
Yeah. And pretty soon
Record a video.
Yeah, there's going to be a video he's going to see of Knuckles getting really close to his eye.
Oh, there it is. Look, I got Jimmy and Stacy Keach. Got you both on there.
Fantastic. I
There we
gotta take
go.
a look at that.
Oh, there it is. Now I could just do an extended video. Oh, there's E-Rock. There it is. Well, okay. You know what? I'm just going to leave these on for Stacy Keach.
That's comfortable. That's comfortable to look at.
As I do an interview with Google Glass, I'm just going to hang out.
Now, where do you get Google Glass?
I don't know. Some guy sent it to me.
Oh.
It was like, hey, check this out.
You can't buy it at like Best Buy or something.
No,
like
not yet. It's
Not
like
yet.
kind of it's still
Online?
in beta.
It's still in beta.
Testing kind of a thing.
You've got to show it.
So yeah. There's a little heads-up display in there, and one eye, which is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To look at.
From this point of view as well.
You look strange.
Yeah, I assume. With or without these on, I look strange. But yeah.
We thought you were losing your mind.
No, I was talking to my Google glasses.
I love
Cheers
it.
to Google Glasses.
So Stacy's got a book out, of course, and this is you, huh? Life on and off the stage.
Yes.
And this includes Alec Baldwin forward by, and this includes like everything you've done, television shows,
Pretty much.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because I remember Kareeb.
Oh my God.
That was one of my faves back when I was a kid. I used to watch Kareeb.
That's really going back.
That is going
Yeah,
back. That was fun.
That was a fun
I like
show.
those shows from back then. They're kind of playing now on certain channels. You get some of the older shows.
Quinn Martin.
Yes, a Quinn
Quinn
Martin
Martin production.
Yes.
Always had the Act
Streets of
One.
San Francisco.
Streets of San Francisco was one, of
Barnaby
course.
Jones.
Barnaby Jones, the geriatric gumshoe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
My brother named after Quinn Martin. 'Cause
No
we were,
kidding.
We were a TV family. I got a brother named Quinn.
Be darned. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not one named Martin, though.
Not Martin, though. We didn't like the name Martin. They liked Quinn, though.
Yeah, that was...
And Darren for Darren Stevens. How about that?
you got a Darren, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't care.
Excellent.
It's okay.
All right.
I don't blame you. Just useless information.
We were named for films in my house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah?
Yes, I have a sister. Her name is Twinkle Twinkle Killer Kane.
No, you don't.
I know.
Yeah, good try. Okay.
What was the rename of that movie?
The Ninth Configuration.
Why did they rename it?
You know, that's a good question. You'd have to ask Bill Blatty, but I think it had something to do with the fact that, well, you know, by the way, he wrote the screenplay before he wrote the book, which he did for The Exorcist as well.
That's weird. Yeah.
Isn't that, it's very
I
bizarre.
didn't know that.
I didn't either until he told me. But You know, it's extraordinary guy, and there's two different endings to that movie. One where the Killer Kane is killed in a bar fight, and another version where he commits suicide, and and Bill Blatty couldn't make up his mind as to which ending to use. And I think the reason he changed the title was because he thought, I think Twinkle Twinkle Killer Kane it didn't reflect what the story was really about, as if the Ninth Configuration does. But nevertheless,
I didn't know you wrote the screenplay to The Exorcist first. So, because if you ever read the book, there's so much great dialogue in there,
right.
in between the demon and the priest and Karras, and I would have assumed that he had edited, but he just added to what he had already written as opposed to editing down for a screenplay.
Yeah, fascinating man. He did something on that when we shot that movie. Then I've never had an experience like this before. He actually had Barry Dvorak write the music for the movie before we even shot the movie. He would play the music before we would shoot the scene so we would get in the mood.
Wow, it's usually done completely the other way around.
The other way around.
Yeah. They play the movie for the
Kind of brilliant, though.
Yeah.
people that put the music
the actors
together.
into the
That
scene.
would kind of get you a little more.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And you start off talking about your cocaine bust in London. What year was that? And can you kind of
1984.
Peruvian flake.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
That was from Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Chong. Yeah.
It's turning blue. Must be Peruvian flake.
how'd you get busted?
Heathrow Airport.
You were bringing it into the country?
I was in denial, and I had a shaving cream can safe that had the stuff inside. One of those things.
That's clever. Yeah, it screws
bottom.
off.
Well, it's clever.
Well, I might not have
not
been.
clever when you put the real shaving cream can right next to the.
Because then it's like, why do you have two shaving cream cans?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Stacy.
No, I wanted to get caught.
Oh, really? Oh, you did?
So,
Wow.
I did, yeah.
So
I think I was at the end of my rope, I was in denial. But it was a few years ago. Thank God I've lived long enough to be able to tell the story.
Wait, so you're going through
very
customs with
lucky.
2 shaving cream cans.
Yeah.
And what's the first sign of trouble?
When the first sign of trouble is the look on the security guy's face.
What's all this then?
Yes, what's this then, son? And then he went in the back and he came back and said, "What's in the can?" And I knew the jig was up. So
Yeah.
I said,
Which one? Shaving cream's in one of them. Oh, God,
he
that's
started
terrible.
shaking the can. Yeah.
Oh.
That was it, when he started shaking the can.
So you got busted, they arrested you, and how long were you in jail for?
6 months.
Oh, that's quite a while for an airport bust for, I guess cocaine is a big one.
Well, it was actually a 9-month sentence, but I had 3 months off for good
What year was
behavior.
this now?
84.
84. Wow.
Almost 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
You were already pretty famous by then, though. I mean,
Yeah, my camera was swinging away. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was jail?
Not something I wanted.
I understand that part, but I mean,
Actually, though, it was a very interesting experience in this respect. The warden was a very compassionate man, and I think he had a son who had died from an overdose when he was like 24, 25. So he was very compassionate, and he appointed me the librarian. And I was told that I would have to read and write letters from the prisoners who were on remand waiting for trial. These young guys, the young offenders, and many of them were totally illiterate, and they would get letters from home. They wanted to, write back. So I did actually got to perform a public service while I was in jail.
so people out there have handwritten notes from Stacy Keach.
They don't know it though.
They probably don't know it.
Don't even know.
Wow.
So when you get busted, what were you going to England for?
I was going there to do a voiceover for my camera. I was shooting in the south of France, shooting a miniseries called Mistral's Daughter. And I was supposed to go up to London to do some voiceover work.
Oh, they must have been mad when
Of course,
I guess that movie went away.
And like an idiot, I was one of those guys. I couldn't do without it.
Well, the amazing
I was
thing,
totally addicted.
you get busted like that. I'm always like, because when jail just stops everything from that moment on. And it was like, how long were you supposed to be there for? You're going to be there for 2 weeks or whatever?
No, a weekend. I mean,
Weekend.
how long? Yeah, exactly. I was going to be there for a weekend.
And then go back, and then and then what happens? How do you get the rest? Like when you realize, oh my God, 9 months or 6 months of my life is now.
I didn't know that at the time. See, this was in April, I believe. It was in April, and then I went back. I was arrested. I was put in jail for the night. They bailed me out, and then I went back to shooting Mistral's daughter, and trial was set for something like 5 months later, 5 months down the road. And I was told that I was just getting a slap on the wrist, and and that was it. And they let me go.
Why'd you go back, though? You could have just came back to the States. They wouldn't have extradited you for a little
Well,
cocaine.
because I wanted to face the music in this respect. I wanted to go back to England to work. And I pled guilty. I mean, I was an idiot.
Did they make an example out of you, you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you clean up after that?
I did.
You did? Wow.
Yeah.
Drinking or two?
Guilty.
Everything.
Huh?
I was going to say pled guilty. That's kind of, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
Well, what
could you do?
How could I mean...
Well, that's because then they could kind of
what could I
wheel and
do?
deal.
No contest? No, I don't know.
Yeah,
no.
blame Gillette.
That's
I'm actually blame Gillette.
How did this get here?
I'm suing them.
What is
Yeah,
this?
no wonder I was enjoying my
Can
shaves.
didn't work.
right.
Yes.
It's screwed the wrong way.
I would shoot the shaving cream right up my nose.
Hey, God.
Oh, my
And so you
God,
quit
that's
from
crazy.
that point on, or from jail on, did you actually get sober?
I got sober the minute I hit jail. Yeah.
And you've stayed since?
I have indeed. Yeah.
Wow.
When you were doing coke and all that stuff, was it affecting your shooting at all, or was it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I wasn't aware of it. I was in denial. I mean, I wasn't. It started off as a social thing because in the early '80s, it was everywhere. I mean, people, you go to parties, it was laying out on the coffee table. You go to a restaurant, the maitre d' would say, "Let's go in the bathroom and have a little toot." You know what I mean? I mean, it was all everywhere. But that changed, and I think a lot of I may have had something to do with that. I mean, in terms of finally recognizing the fact that it was not just a lot of people got in trouble health wise. A lot of people died.
Yeah.
I had some friends who I don't have anymore because of it. And I was in total denial. I mean, I was a medicinal user. If I didn't have that little bottle in my pocket, I felt like, I can't go on. I mean, I just can't.
Wow. So it was a daily thing of just, all day kind of.
Well, but I mean, moderately all day long.
Right.
But
Just kind of stretching it out through the whole day a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something. Do you ever see yourself on television or a movie or anything and go like, oh boy, I could tell I was a little wired.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. Yes.
What's one you? Because Paul Williams came in and he said that he would look at himself in his old appearances and become so embarrassed because he was like, "Oh yeah, I was so loaded on that one." And
But we didn't notice. You know what I
we
mean?
didn't notice.
But he knew.
He looks back with
And he
humiliation.
came and look at it.
I'm sure that's the case with me too. I mean, when Mike Hammer.
Well, Mike Hammer was an over the top. He was a little
He was wired
agitated anyway. Yeah. Mike Hammer's a great character.
I'll make a note.
Very
I'll
over
make
the
a
top.
note.
He was supposed to be a mellow guy, though. That's the problem here.
Yeah, maybe
He
that
was
was
supposed to be mellow, and they
Mike
just got
Hammer
very
was a-
confused why he wasn't mellow.
grab a guy by the lapels kind of guy,
Yeah, you weren't supposed to do that.
I
You
love
were just
Mike
supposed
Hammer,
to give a
man.
talking to.
Yeah, that was a fun show too.
Man, you got a hell of a voice. You ever do radio or obviously a lot of voiceovers?
I do a lot of voiceovers. American Greed. I'm the voice of American Greed.
Right.
What's that?
On CNBC. It's a 1 hour show about guys like Bernie Madoff and other fraudsters who scam us. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of your voice is perfect for those crime shows and
I'd like you to narrate my
Murder
life story.
shows.
He'd be perfect. Yes. Can you say, and he thought it was a woman and realized it wasn't,
And he thought it was a woman and realized it wasn't.
and then you have to pause and say, and he went through with it anyway.
Very good. Very good.
Jim.
And he went through with it anyway. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway. How do you say anyway?
So much of those, like when you watch like a documentary or like who I think Paul Winfield was doing those, the whole City Confidentials.
Right.
You don't realize how important the voiceover wrapping around it is until you hear it done poorly, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cheesy. But when you hear it done right, you just kind of take
That's
it for granted.
effortless
That's
with
how they
Stacy
are.
Keach.
Effortless.
Amazing. Really.
Well, thank you. Well, I talk about it in my book, All
Yes.
in All, which just hit the stands, and I'm very happy to say, and I'm very, very pleased I got a chance to live long enough to write it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go.
And
So
there's
you're friends with Alec Baldwin?
Yes.
And
I'm very sorry about all the things that have been happening.
the recent controversy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be great. You're out plugging the book. It's like, oh, Alec Baldwin. It's like, thanks, Alec. Now I got to address this shit.
But he really,
it's perfect though because it puts it's
he really gets
no.
bothered out there, though.
Well, listen,
I've seen it.
I can't imagine.
He's a wonderful guy, and he's very protective of his family, and I can appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It doesn't excuse what he said, but he apologized. He did apologize.
He apologized, and you know
I
what?
think life goes on.
I don't like in this day and age that things are completely taken without context. So if something is said, it's taken at face value. Let's all be honest. As men, you go out there, you get angry at something, you blurt stuff out.
Right.
It doesn't mean literally what you're saying. It means you're angry, and for years that's the terminology that was used for calling someone an asshole or something.
Well said. No, that's exactly.
And I think that's
precisely where it was.
and I think that's what it's
And then
about.
the apology doesn't matter anymore.
It's
They want your job on top of it.
Oh, I know. It's
we talk about this
amazing
every
now.
day, Stacy. We're
Yeah.
not going to bore you with this. It's one of our rallying.
It's one of our go-to.
Well, good. I think it's good.
No,
It needs
'cause
to be
every
talked
day-
about. It needs to be
it
talked
does.
about.
God, every day there's one out there that we talk
in
about.
this weird political correct place now where, like Opie said, not only do you have to apologize, but you have to lose your job. You have to.
But they won't take
be
your job
shunned.
until you apologize, and then they're like, "Okay, now that you
That wasn't
apologize,
enough. Yeah,
now we're going
yeah.
to take your job."
Well, it was like that whole thing with the Miami Dolphins a couple of weeks.
Exactly,
Very
yeah.
similar situation. Yeah.
Again, taken out of context. It's got to be put in context of, here's a locker room atmosphere.
Locker room
with
culture is
guys.
very
exactly,
different.
totally different.
Guys, I mean, this isn't something new. It's been happening for years like that.
and years and
Do you get tired? I mean, you're like an old school guy. You're a fucking man's man. You must get tired of this. Like, how annoying do you find this culture the way we're behaving? It's just irritating.
It's very annoying, but I don't know what's the solution.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess just talking about it as we are.
Talking about it, and then it's all
Bringing it up.
cyclical. Occasionally, it'll move back
The
the other
solution
way.
is people got to push back more, Stacey.
Yeah.
that
You
is-
see it on the news. These guys know it, but they just still play it out
Yeah.
Yeah, the media.
because they're looking for their headlines and
the news is ridiculous now.
and their
anyway.
audience. But
It's no.
you got to love Rob
no
Ford.
Walter Cronkite.
How great is this Rob Ford guy?
Toronto mayor.
The Toronto mayor is a lot of fun to
Oh my
watch.
God.
We absolutely love him. We love him.
Well,
we absolutely love him.
I'm sure he's out there.
This guy could have used your shaving cream can.
But I'm not an addict. I'm not an addict. That's different. I was.
But isn't it funny to hear somebody talk about smoking crack and then acting like the press is irrational for suggesting addiction?
Right. That's
True.
That's when we might see it the press's way. We're not unreasonable, but
Yeah. That's fantastic.
and he's trying to claim he only did it once. And our thought is the people that did it once are the ones that die from it.
No one's ever smoked crack once.
Right, I
Well,
doubt
it's
it.
like the old days. What was it? I didn't inhale. I mean,
Yes,
it's the
Bill
same-
Clinton
the
saying
same-
that, yeah.
no, it's the same.
But he really thought that was going to work. To say that he didn't.
He kind of did,
You
though. He got
idiot!
elected.
What? You don't know what you were missing.
Right. Yeah, what are you doing?
Hey, by the way, book signing this Friday. I don't want to. The 22nd. Is it this Friday? That's today's the 19th. Next Friday, a week from Friday.
What day, Jimmy?
It's at Barnes and Noble. It's November the 22nd. If you want to meet Stacy and
November
get
the
the book signed.
22nd.
In Calabasas, California.
Hold on, that's Friday.
That's, a week from Friday.
A week from Friday.
November 22nd, you're saying?
Is it this Friday?
It's Friday.
No, it's
Oh,
this Friday.
I'm
This
sorry.
Friday.
I'm sorry. Yes.
In Calabasas, California, where I live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Also, the DVD of Disney's Planes is coming out this
Oh,
week.
I
play Skipper.
Your voice is in that.
Yeah, I play Skipper.
I got a 3.5-year-old, so I'll hear you about 1,000 times. So
Fabulous.
no, it's not fabulous, Stacy.
You'll
It's
like
not fabulous for the parents. It's fabulous to see it once or twice, maybe 3 times, but not 1,000 times every time we go down to Philly on a car ride.
I like that idea.
See?
Patton Oswalt's a friend of ours. I can't stand his voice because of Ratatouille. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm very happy that's out on DVD for you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. And you'll enjoy it. You will. I promise.
I honestly haven't seen that one yet, and we go to a lot of the kids' movies. So
Yeah.
It's like
we will
Cars
be
in the
watching
Sky.
it. Yeah.
Cars in the Sky.
Sure.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
No.
No.
But I heard that.
Yeah. I play Skipper, and he's the mentor. He teaches Dusty, a crop duster played by Dane Cook. Dane Cook.
Dane Cook, right?
Yeah. To overcome his fear of heights and win a race around the world.
And what type of aircraft are you, sir?
I'm a Navy Corsair.
Oh, back like Baba Black Sheep.
Yes, indeed.
Back
did a
again
good
in the
plane.
same time as like Kareem was on. We had Pappy Boyington and Baba Black Sheep.
That's it.
And occasionally we'd see you all together in Battle of the Network Stars, where you'd all get together and
He didn't do
fight each
battle.
other.
Stacy Keach didn't do Battle of the Network Stars.
I did.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
you did.
I
Stacy did
indeed,
Battle.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He
yeah.
once hit Barbara Bach with a rowing oar.
I remember that. It was like Dan Haggerty from Grizzly Adams was on there, and
That's right.
Yeah.
We all did that in those days. And the other one was Circus of the Stars.
Circus of the Stars.
Oh, you
was
remember that
another
one? Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot
boy.
about that.
What would happen
Dom
on that
DeLuise
one?
is going to take to the high wire.
Right.
It's like probably not a good idea.
No. Yeah.
Circus of the Stars. You
forgot
did one of
about
those?
that
I was the ringmaster, yes.
Oh well, okay,
With
that's
that voice,
safer.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages.
You weren't in the roller skating episode of what show was that again?
Chips. Oh, was that great?
The All-Star roller skating episode?
No, I don't remember seeing Stacy Keach. I remember seeing
was
the
the roller
cast of
skating
8 is
episode?
Enough.
It was a extravaganza, man. It was an all-star cast. Yes.
I guess
Was it a
Ponch and John were doing some charity event.
What show?
At a roller rink.
Chips.
What's that?
Chips.
Oh,
Chips.
Shit,
Yeah.
Eric
What's that?
Estrada.
Eric Estrada.
Yeah.
And it was a charity event, and they had like all the celebrities at this charity event. And it just happened to be all the people that were on all the shows that were also on the same network as
But
Chips.
but they were all forced to do this, obviously.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
all
yeah.
did it.
They were
Yeah,
forced.
It was.
So it was a special. It wasn't a show.
They were special.
No,
yeah.
it was the show, but it was a special episode of the show because it had so many.
What show, though, again?
What show was
Chips.
it? What's that?
Yeah, Chips.
Eric Estrada.
Eric
What
Estrada,
show?
he was on Chips.
We did our first movies together.
Oh, really?
The New Centurions back in the day.
The New Centurions.
Yeah, it was Joseph Wambaugh. It was George C. Scott.
Oh,
and
wow.
myself. Yeah.
Who'd you play?
I played this young cop. Roy Feller was his name, who gets shot at the end and he gets killed at the
Oh,
end.
spoiler.
Yeah.
There it is.
Thanks a
Long
lot,
time
man.
ago.
I was just gonna go check
Really?
that out.
I was going to
and,
Netflix that one tonight.
Check out Nebraska, by the way.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Nebraska.
Yeah,
Is it that good?
Yeah, I'm partial to it because I'm in it. But
Oh, you are in.
yeah.
What is Nebraska?
We were supposed to see it last week.
Oh,
We-
go see
we
it.
skipped the
Bruce
screening.
Dern, June Squibb,
Will
Will
Forte.
Forte. Yeah, it's and Bruce won the Best Actor award at Cannes Film Festival.
Bruce Dern.
We did that championship season together. Years ago.
Is he as eclectic as he comes across?
Absolutely.
Oh, he used the word
Yeah.
eclectic.
That's a good word.
Instead of batshit crazy.
Yeah,
But
no, he's not.
he's
No,
I'm teasing, of course.
Yeah.
He's been in some amazing movies over the years too.
And he plays this is his best work.
Really? Wow.
I think so. Yeah.
In Nebraska.
I don't want to put the Ken or her on it, but I think there's some Oscar.
Oh
there's
wow.
some
Oscar buzz.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
You want us to see Nebraska?
Yeah.
It's hard because they have screenings at times when we can't
Yeah.
make it.
I wanted
They have
to.
them at certain times, and sometimes it's difficult.
Yes.
To do.
Yeah, well, now it's out. It's around. It's in
Oh, so
town.
we could
It
actually
just
see it at
Yeah,
our own
basically,
leisure.
Stacy just told us to stop with our horseshit excuses. It's in theaters.
I don't. We don't pay to see movies. That's
Jesus.
crazy.
The 22nd.
Who does that?
You doing the sign? That's the JFK. That's the anniversary, right?
50
The
years.
22nd, yeah. That's
Right.
So you're doing that. I hate to ask the question, but you don't get to ask it much. What were you doing when that happened?
I was in the elevator at Yale, going to the Yale Drama School. I remember going down the elevator. I was on my way to rehearsal. We were rehearsing George Bernard Shaw's The Devil's Disciple. And Frank Mulligan, who was the director, said, "Oh, we're not going to go on. We're not going to rehearse today." And we all went home, and it was a heavy day.
Well, how did you hear it? He actually told you, or was it?
It was on the radio of the elevator going down. It was up like at the 26th floor.
Wow!
A slow elevator. By the time I got down, you know.
Wow.
They hadn't. He hadn't been announced dead at that point. He was just announced shot. When I got to the school, they said he's dead. It was a terrible day. Terrible.
So what did you do? What do you do after that happens?
Well, we went home. We all went home and just, watched television. Turn on the television. That was. I think that changed the whole temperament in America. That and Watergate were the two major. Those two events. In our history.
That whole go home and watch it on television. I think that was really the first national tragedy that was so communal because it was televised like that, and everybody got to join in with the sorrow at one time.
Yeah.
And
did you watch Oswald get shot live on TV?
I saw it live. Yeah.
Can't even imagine.
We just recorded a wonderful play by Christopher Lee, not the same Christopher Lee, the actor, called Air Force One. It was done for the BBC, and it's about the swearing in of Lyndon Johnson from the time Kennedy was shot, and all of that event with Jackie in the plane flying back, and he was sworn in by Judge Hughes. And it's a radio drama, and it's on right now. It's called Air Force One.
Oh, really?
Oh, you just did it?
From BBC. Yeah, and I play Lyndon.
Oh, you do?
Oh, wow.
I play Lyndon, which harks me back to the days of MacBird, when I did MacBird years ago off Broadway, when I played. It was Lyndon Johnson in the really the Scottish guy. Can't say Macbeth. Well, if you say Macbeth, I got to spit 3 times and turn around.
That's right. Yeah. It's bad luck.
It's bad luck. Yeah.
But you did a lot of stage work.
I have.
Right? Yeah.
That's, and I'm just getting ready to do Falstaff in both parts of Henry IV, parts 1 and 2, Shakespeare, down at the Shakespeare Theater in Washington, D.C. next year.
Did you have reservations about doing television because, especially at the time in the 70s and whatnot, it was not that prestigious as far as the stage?
It was a different. It was a different era. Yeah. And I got knocked pretty heavily when I did Carib, and I left movies to do television.
You did get knocked pretty hard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But now it's a whole different world.
Jealous bastards.
Now it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No. In fact,
I remember
there's some of the best. Yeah, there's some of the best stuff now available is on television. Some of the cable outlets, and
absolutely
making amazing shows now.
I just had a great run doing Sean Saves the World. I did a guest shot on that with my dear friend Linda Levin, Sean Hayes. I play her lascivious lover, and The Neighbors, where I play the father on The Neighbors. Guest shots again.
Yeah.
And a new show coming up called Enlisted, where 3 brothers in the Army visit who they're going to become. And played by Barry Bostwick, Dean Stockwell.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And myself. Yeah, that'll be on next year.
Visiting who they're going to become.
Right.
That's an interesting idea.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great career, man.
Yeah.
Just always working. Amazing.
I have to. I've got 2 kids in college. I got to keep punching.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
You also played Nixon on stage.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting, too. Do you like Nixon, or did you not like him at all?
Well, I had mixed feelings about him. Yeah, there were certain things. I mean, when I played him, I certainly came to appreciate certain things more than I.
What did you appreciate more after you, I guess, were kind of forced to?
I think his vulnerability about that. He had there was a side to his nature that during the Watergate era that I was completely closed off to. I didn't see I wasn't sympathetic at all.
No, not many people were at that point. Yeah. I mean, you're just seeing, hey, this guy is the president who was trusted and lied to everybody, and
exactly
that vulnerability wasn't there. And
no.
And you do realize how much, even back then, it's nothing compared to what it is now. But the media really did. That was one of the first Now, there's another cultural moment in history. That was one of the first episodes in history where the news just jumped on it and had constant coverage.
Well, that was it.
Trials.
I mean, that was the soap opera of the day. I mean, forget the soap. We were all watching the Watergate trial.
Yeah,
I mean, that was it.
And before that, though, there wasn't really. I mean, you could go back to the McCarthy hearings, but even that wasn't.
That was newsreels.
Right,
stuff.
that was newsreels. It wasn't
live
televised
TV.
like that.
Right.
What was it that broke Nixon? It was I was like the fourth day of the interview, and I mean from the movie I'm remembering, and Nixon had made a call drunk, and he didn't know exactly what he said, or what exactly got him. That kind of got Frost what it got him.
Well, I it's a good question, and it's not really answered in the story. But that phone call certainly was for the audience witnessing that phone call. You got a chance to see the other side of his nature.
Did he not remember he had called him?
He said he didn't, but I don't believe that necessarily. He said he didn't remember it, but I think he did. It just he didn't want to face it.
So when you're doing Nixon, are you trying to do the voice like everybody else? How do you do the impression?
I never did any Nixon.
He went, it's Nixon here. No. Hip, hip, cheerio.
That don't sound
just
like
completely just.
That does not sound like Richard Nixon.
That's Nixon. That's a good Nixon.
That is a good Nixon.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I did it with a great, wonderful actor, Alan Cox. He played David Frost. Yeah, he was great. It was a wonderful production.
It's a lot of pressure, though, to play such a famous figure that, you know that if you get it wrong, everybody in the room knows you've got it wrong, or if you're playing somebody else, they don't necessarily know it.
That's true.
Did they try to make you look like Nixon?
I went through a whole makeup thing, which I talk about in my book, that I abandoned. And because the director, Michael Grandage, very wisely said, we don't want to do a literal, rendering of Nixon. It's important to capture the essence of his character. But I did do a certain amount of that. I mean, everybody has a Nixon.
Sure.
Yeah. Vocal, but,
what did you think of Hopkins' version in the movie?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, I love everything he does.
Did they try to make him?
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins played him.
I thought Frank Langella played him.
He played, Frank Langella did, but
wait, Anthony Hopkins did Nixon
in another movie.
In another movie, right.
Oliver Stone?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
It was. Okay, I'm thinking of Frost Nixon, where it was Langella.
It was Frank.
Yeah, Frank Langella did a great job in that.
He was absolutely great.
But Hopkins did it in the movie Nixon.
I love the scene where the guy is like, Nixon, I would never talk to him, and then when Nixon walks in the room, he's just like, hello, Mr. President.
Yes,
Humbled.
It just shows you how these guys alpha male everybody, and no matter who you are, what your ideology
when the
is.
president walks in the room, come on.
Yeah,
that's a big moment.
Sure.
Have you met him, or did you ever meet him, or no?
No, I never met him. I never did, no. But one of my dearest friends, Howard Kaminsky, was his book publisher. And he told me, great stories about him, and so I picked his brain a lot, and I talked to other people who knew him very well and tried to get some kind of, understanding of his crazy nature.
So when you're doing we asked an actor recently, when you look at a script, do you immediately look at it and start putting like he said he writes in the parentheses or in the side,
in the margins,
yeah. What do you?
My line, your line, my line, my line.
Yeah. Do you do any of that, like emotional writing or putting verbs in the script, or?
No, I don't. I mean, not in the beginning. No, generally speaking, you just but I do the highlighting. I highlight my lines.
Oh yeah.
And then as time goes on, I find myself doing, writing stuff down.
See, I'll put little things in the margins, like I'll put an arrow and I'll say, flail arms wildly.
I'd love to see some of those features.
Yeah,
because that'd be great.
Because they always say do the opposite, and I don't necessarily believe that, but they're like, you do the opposite of what you think you're supposed to. People give you this weird advice, and like a lot of times,
the opposite of?
Yeah, they just trying to sound like they have really great actor advice.
Like, why does he keep leaving the room when he's supposed to come in?
Yeah, exactly.
The director fires you.
Yeah, why is he pop locking? This is a eulogy.
Well, there are certain acting techniques that do suggest that if you're trying to do something with great intensity, to try and do it softer, so you recognize how wrong you are. You know, I mean, you recognize, it's like by indirections, find directions out kind of thing. Yeah.
You can't really tell if you're screwing it up until you do it another way. And kind of look at how you were doing it. Yeah, all right.
See, Brando, I watched Don Juan DeMarco, and I've mentioned this before, but it was a cool moment where I guess he was pissed off at one of the other doctors, and he said, "I'm so angry at you." And he just said it like that, like really sweet almost. And I'm like, that was just such a brand, because anybody else would have yelled that line.
Yeah.
I certainly would have.
Yeah.
Pacino would have.
Pointed, pointed. Of course,
Angry!
But that's me.
Would he yell? Well, it's the yelling Pacino. I like the yelling Pacino.
He does young Pacino, though.
Yes.
You're downplaying your young...
We're hoping he does Pacino in Angels in America.
You do the soft-spoken. He doesn't want to do it, though, but he does. He does.
All right, well, the book's out now.
This is great.
Absolutely.
It's called All in All, and the great Stacy Keach. And you can meet Stacy Friday night, and in Calabasas, California, at Barnes and Noble on Commons Way. He'll be doing a book signing in the it's a Barnes and Noble, so it's a nice place.
Not
to
many
go for
left.
signing.
Not many bookstores left.
No, they're going away.
Going away fast.
Are you a big reader?
I do. I like to read. Yeah.
Look at these. Kudos, Martin Sheen, Jeff Bridges, Edward Norton, Oliver Stone, and of course Alec Baldwin. That's pretty good. Good company right there. All right, who's calling me? I'm talking to Stacy Keach over here.
Why do you give up on the Google glasses?
I was videoing a little bit. I didn't want to look completely silly the entire...
When you videotape, you got to keep your head completely still.
I'm like, my neck hurts now.
I saw you do that.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if they're really going to catch on, to tell you the truth.
They're not going to be available for Christmas?
Oh, God, no.
I don't know.
Not yet.
Like
they're still in beta mode?
Yeah, they really haven't quite gotten them down yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty comfortable to wear because you're looking, it doesn't really interfere with your vision until you look up and just look like a creep. You look like Alex in the chair in Clockwork Orange.
Holding your eyeballs up at me glasses.
Yes, I guess that's a little teeny screen you're looking at. I guess I can't see anything. I'm looking at
it's not on.
It's plain. But I guess I can see the appeal of this. But next it'll be contact lenses. That's where we're going next, and it's going to be a lovely
And then
world.
Just implants in your eye.
And eventually all of us will just kind of know what each other is doing.
Then we're just going to just tattle on everyone.
The board.
And then it'll go 3D.
And then
that'd be great. Well, I see in 3D now. It's amazing. Why would you need 3D when it's right there?
Right.
Well,
they'll figure out to make it better.
Life is in 3D.
They'll make it better.
All right.
Yeah.
Stacy Keach.
Stacy, thanks so much.
Thank you. I really had fun. That was great, man.
Love having you in.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. The Opie and Anthony Show. The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM. All right. Well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.